Welcome to the Gospel Sleep, a peaceful corner made just for you. If your heart feels weary, if your thoughts won't quiet down, if you've been lying awake trying to find peace, you've come to the right place. Tonight, let go of everything that burdens you. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't need to figure it all out. You only need to rest in God's presence. As you listen, imagine sitting beside a gentle fire under the night sky. The air is cool. The stars are bright. And the Word of God flows softly around you like the sound of a river. Each verse whispers truth into your heart. Be still and know that I am God. Let those words wash over your thoughts and calm the storm within. Here, in this moment, God meets you right where you are in your exhaustion, in your fears, in your sleepless nights. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's simply inviting you to rest. Every video on this channel is created to help you find that sacred stillness to breathe, to reflect, and to fall asleep in peace. So whenever life feels overwhelming, open godly sleep and let the spirit of calm surround you. If you haven't already, please subscribe and be part of our loving community of believers who rest together in His Word each night. Share these moments with others who might need peace too. Together, we can create a haven of calm where everyone is reminded you are loved, you are safe, and God is near. Now, take one more deep breath, exhale, and rest. You're exactly where you're meant to be in the gentle arms of peace. I invite you to join me tonight in embracing a moment of peace and reflection. The day has wound down. The noise is fading. I am here with a soft lamp and a quiet heart. I speak slowly. I speak gently. I want this hour to ease the weight you carry. Settle where you are. Sit or lie in a way that feels easy. Let the shoulders loosen. Uncross the legs. Allow the jaw to unclench. Place one hand over the heart if that feels right. Feel the steady rise and fall there. Notice the rhythm. Breathe into that rise. Breathe out into the fall. I am breathing with you. We move together in a calm, slow pattern. The room is simple. A blanket rests nearby. A small glass of water waits on the table. Light comes through a shade and lands like a soft pillow on the floor. I like to dim the world before I read. It helps the words land. It helps the promises settle under the skin. Tonight, I hold a few of those promises with careful hands. They're like warm stones. We place them where they will steady us. If stress still hums near the shoulders, notice it without judgment. Stress is a sound you heard all day. It is a muscle that tightened in response to a demand. It is not a verdict on you. It is an experience that can be noticed and then set down. I will not rush that setting down. I invite a gentle release instead. Imagine a small shelter. It could be a room with wooden beams. It could be a tent by a river. It might be the space inside your chest where hope sits. Picture that shelter now. The roof is simple. The walls hold out harsh weather. Inside, the air is quieter. Inside, there is room to breathe. The promises I will read are like the beams and planks. They hold you through a night of wind, They keep the rain outside. I will speak of rest. I will speak of refuge. I will speak of mercy. Listen for hope, not for rules. My aim is comfort, not argument. The words I choose are soft. They are meant to land like light. Each one is a small invitation to lean in and receive. If a thought rushes in, greet it, then let it pass. Imagine a leaf floating on a slow stream. Place the thought on that leaf for a moment. Watch it move downriver and out of sight. Some thoughts will return. Let them. They do not require immediate action. Our work now is to be still enough to hear quieter things. I press my hand to the page in a way that reminds me this is for more than information. It is for healing. Scripture often reaches into the ordinary and calls it holy. A promise becomes a place of safety when it is repeated gently until the body remembers it. This is not a lecture. This is a bedside presence. Think of the last hour that felt heavy. Visualize laying that hour on a table. Name it in a single word if you can. Fatigue, worry, fear, loss. Now imagine lifting that table and bringing it into the shelter with you. Lay the weight down there. This small practice is not magic. It is a discipline of the heart. It trains the muscles of trust. Trust grows when actions match seeking rest. I often remind myself of the quiet invitations found in the pages I read. They are simple. They remind me that tired hearts are seen and that wandering minds are welcomed home. I am not promising an erasure of troubles. I am promising a companion in them. I promise voice and presence that do not condemn, but attend. As I read, notice the body again. Let the breath slow by half. Let the eyelids grow softer. If sleep wants to come, lid it. If peace wants to deepen, lid it. I am mindful of the slow pace. I pause between phrases. I pause so the words can enter the room like a warm breeze. You can follow each pause with a breath and a small release. We will keep things unhurried. I will speak in plain language. I will avoid big theological debates. This is not a classroom or a courtroom. This is a bedside, a harbor, a quiet fire. Mercy matters more than proving points. Hope matters more than winning arguments. The presence of Christ is steady. It is like the soft lamp on the table. It shows us what we need to see and leaves the rest in shadow for now. If your mind wanders to tomorrow's tasks, bring it gently back to the present. Tomorrow will arrive in its own time. Tonight is for repair. Repair happens through small gestures. A slow breath, a lowered shoulder, a whispered prayer, or a silent acknowledgement. I hold a gentle silence for those who cannot summon words. That silence counts. It listens. I will read passages that remember the tired and invite them into rest. I will read words that speak of shelter and of love that does not tire. I will read lines that have comforted many before you. As I read, let your attention be like a warm cup held to your chest. Allow the warmth to soak in. Sometimes the body resists stillness. An ache remains in a knee. A thought presses like a pebble in a shoe. Name the sensation in the mind and in the body. Offer it a kind sentence. Say to yourself, this is here. It is not all of me. Then breathe toward it. Breathe the promise of rest toward that place. Not as a cure, but as a tender tending. If tears come, let them. They are part of the clearing. If sleep comes, do not worry about missing anything. The reading will do its work, whether you hear every word or one phrase at a time. The promises settle in many ways. They work through the ear and through the skin and through the slow, steady beating of the heart. I will sometimes pause to name a picture. A harbor with steady posts. A shepherd leading at dusk. A lamp in a window guiding a tired traveler home. These are not meant to fix everything. They are meant to be doors that open gently. Walking through those doors allows the skin to soften and the mind to rest. My tone stays even and kind. I speak in the present tense. That keeps things near. I say, what is happening now? The mind hears straight lines. Present tense builds a feeling of closeness. It helps the heart trust what is being said. Tonight's reading is gentle. It is for those who carry worry and for those who carry regret. It is for the ones who have been busy all day and now feel hollow. It is for the people who have kept faith alive in small acts. It is for anyone who needs a hand to hold. I read because I find that hearing these words aloud makes them easier to accept. The human voice has a way of making promises sound less abstract. We will move slowly. I will give pauses long enough to breathe in and out twice. I will let silence sit like a blanket across the phrases. In that silence, sometimes a single word roots deeper. Sometimes a whole sentence rests like a stone in the chest. Allow whatever settles to do so without pressure. If you are holding a worry about someone else, bring their name to mind now. Offer it gently to the shelter. Pray or send a thought of care toward them. You do not need to solve their problems. Your care itself is a small prayer. It matters. It warms the place between difficult days. I keep the voice soft because loudness startles. Softness invites. It allows memory to surface without alarm. It offers welcome to the parts of you that have learned to stay guarded. There is no hurry here. The night is long enough to hold the gentle turning. Before I begin the reading, take 3 full breaths with me. Breathe in slowly through the nose. Hold for a moment. Let the breath out on a slow count. Do that again. One more time. With that last breath, allow the body to settle a little deeper. Feel the weight of the mattress or the chair. Feel the shape of the room around you. Notice how safe it feels in this small circle of light. I will keep my words plain and kind. I will avoid heavy terms that press. I will offer images instead. I will let mercy be the center. Hope will be the hush around the phrases. Christ's presence will be like a steady hand on the back. Guiding but not forcing. These are promises we can rest under. They are not obligations. They are gifts. We open slowly. When you are ready, close the eyes. If sleep is not yet welcome, keep them half open and let the darkness be soft. I will begin the reading in the next part. Until then, remain quiet and breathe. Let the small shelter I described become real in your mind. Let those beams and walls cradle you. In the next section, I will read a passage slowly and softly. and we will rest under the shelter of the promises together. I settle into the chair. The lamp keeps a soft pool of light. I fold my hands in my lap and breathe with you. Tonight, I turn to the Psalms. They are old songs that know how to hush a restless heart. I will not read the words as a lecture. I will speak them as a lullaby. I begin by inviting a simple picture. Imagine a shepherd at dusk. The path is dusted with cool shadows. Grass bends under the weight of a slow breeze. This picture is not distant. It arrives near the ribs. It presses gently against the sternum and loosens the shoulders. I tell this image because the Psalms use small things to hold big comfort. A field, a quiet bull, a soft lamp. These are enough to rest on. I read lines that say a shepherd guides and keeps. The voice in the psalm walks with a steady pace. The steps do not hurry. The pace is measured to the breath. I imagine stepping behind that caretaking figure. The ground is even. The feet do not slip. A stream appears. It is low and certain. I sit beside it. The sound is small and regular. The rhythm becomes a counting breath. In, out. In, out. The stream smooths the edges of worry. The psalm moves to a valley that once felt dark. The memory of that valley is real. It tastes of fear. The voice names that feeling without dramatizing it. It keeps a hand along the shoulder and keeps walking. A staff and a rod are present. They are tools, not threads. They remind me that I am not alone in the dark walk. Comfort comes in the presence of care, not in the absence of difficulty. From that place the psalm pictures a table. It is set in the sight of those who might oppose you. Food appears. Anointing oil warms the scalp. The cup is full. These images are small acts of hospitality. They say that care reaches even where danger lurks. I let that assurance soak under the skin like warm water. I read then about goodness and mercy following like faithful companions. They walk close behind. They do not outrun. They do not lag far away. They keep step. The promise is gentle. It is present tense. Goodness and mercy go with us every evening. I breathe in that steady companionship. Pause with me. Take 2 soft breaths. Feel the weight of the pillow beneath the head. Imagine that goodness and mercy resting like a blanket across the shoulders. Let them be heavy enough to press warmth into the muscles. Let them be light enough to let breath move. Stay with this sensation for a slow count. The next psalm I speak of leans into the image of refuge. It pictures a safe place reached by small choices. It names protection as something close, like a roof overhead. The voice leans into the idea of finding a quiet corner in a busy storm. It smells like cedar. It feels like dry wood after rain. The danger still passes outside, but inside the walls hold. I invite you to picture walls that do not judge. They only hold. That psalm also uses wings as a picture. Think of wings not as distance, but as a sheltering lean. A bird tucks its young close under the feathered cover. The body remembers how it feels to be covered. The shoulders drop. The breath slows. This is imagery that does not demand an explanation. It asks only to be received. I speak next of a steady night watch. The line tells of someone who watches through the dark hours. The presence is a quiet vigilance, not an anxious pacing. It is a lamp kept upright. The lamp throws a small ring of light on the path ahead. You walk into that ring, the feet are sure. You do not have to solve tomorrow now. Tonight is for being watched over. Let the mind return to the shelter picture. In this shelter there is a small table with warm bread. A cup of water rests there. The simple meal is enough. The psalm holds to small sufficiency. Larger answers can wait. The heart needs a morsel and a sip. Allow this nourishment to settle in the belly like a soft hand. I slow my voice. I let words hang a beat longer than usual. This gives room for the images to breathe. The ear can catch the shape of each promise. I remind you quietly that rest is not a prize for earning. It comes as an invitation. It arrives whether the day was tidy or untidy. The Psalms speaker does not tally ledger books here. The shelter opens for the tired. Now I move to images of building and stillness. One psalm tells of a refuge that stands in the middle of the city. It is not an escape route. It is a steady column in the midst of noise. The idea is that peace does not require absence of sound. It can exist in the heart of activity. I ask you to imagine a small stone pillar in a busy street. People pass. The pillar is calm. You lean against it and breathe. Another psalm uses a shorter line, be still. It asks the listener to let the body do less for a moment. The stillness is not passivity. It is a listening. I invite that stance now. Feel the breath. Count its shape. Notice the chest. Let the shoulders descend by the width of one finger. Be still and sense that something larger watches and cares. Gentle images of trees and roots appear next. A tree planted by water drinks easily. The leaves stay green. Storms come and move through without uprooting the core. I picture my feet like roots sinking calmly into the ground. I press that picture into the middle of the chest. The root image steadies the heart. It reminds me that nourishment can be slow and hidden, and still change the shape of life. The Psalms often toward praise as a soft return. They lift a simple sentence of gratitude. I do not make this a performance. I name a single small thanks now. Thank you for the breath just taken. Thank you for the warmth in the room. Thank you for the ability to close the eyelids and feel the lids press soft. Saying these quiet thanks is a way to make room for hope. Hope in these songs is not a large doctrine. It is a rhythm. It repeats. It returns like the night tide. It is patient. It is surprisingly ordinary. It comes as morning light and as the steady catching of a breath. The Psalms remind the heart that hope is available in small measures. Take one measure now and place it by the bedside. I slow a little more. I am mindful of the listening ears. Words stay simple. Sentences are short and clear. I do not rush images. Each one arrives like a small stone laid on the path. Step on it and feel the ground hold. A gentle image of guidance comes next. The psalm speaks of a light for the path. The light is not blinding. It is a soft glow that shows the next footstep. This is enough for tonight. The next step, not the entire road. I ask you to let that be enough. Focus only on the next breath. The next stilling of the jaw. The next uncurling of the hand. Let future concerns fold themselves into quiet. Near the close of this portion, I mention the idea of company. The Psalms often imagine friends and companions accompanying the speaker. The picture is a small group walking into the evening. They share a blanket. They do not rush. They share silence. This company is a quiet mercy. If you hold a single friend's face in your mind, imagine them under that blanket. They are warm. They are cared for, as much as you are. I bring the reading to a soft landing. The Psalms I have paraphrased do not erase trouble. They do not promise an easy clearing. Instead, they offer a different way to move through it. They invite trust, not because everything changes suddenly, but because the companion presence changes how the road feels. Before closing this section, take 3 slow breaths with me. Breathe in to the count of 3. Hold 1 beat. Let the breath out slowly. Do that again. 1 more time. With the last exhale, imagine setting down a small stone on the table we pictured earlier. Let the stone represent what you need to let rest tonight. Place it gently. Do not fix it forever. Let it rest for now. If it feels right, I offer a gentle encouragement. Consider subscribing if you find this kind of evening helpful. Share the quiet with someone who might need it. A small gesture like that is not loud. It is a steady kindness. I end this part with a sentence that feels like a door closing softly. The Psalms remain near. You can return to these images when the mind stirs. I will be here to read again, slowly and plainly. For now, allow the warmth of the lamp to sit in the shoulder blades. Let goodness and mercy walk quietly beside you as you move towards sleep. When you are ready, let your eyes close. If your mind lingers, keep the pictures in the chest and breathe. I will meet you in the next part with more quiet songs and small invitations to rest. Good night, for now. I keep the lamp low. The page rests on my knee. My voice is slow. I read a line from David that has soothed many nights. He says he lies down and sleeps in peace. He trusts that God makes him dwell safely. The sentence lands like a small stone in a quiet pool. Ripples come and then fade. I speak this line aloud in a way that feels like a hand on a resting brow. The words are not a command. They are an offered place to lie down. If the day brought sharp things, the day can be set aside now. Bring one small worry into view. Name it in a single breath. Then picture placing it on a wooden table inside the shelter we have spoken of. Place the worry down. Close the fingers. Let the hand relax. I ask you to breathe with me. In through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 1. Out for 5. Repeat that pattern 3 times. Each breath softens the jaw a fraction. Each exhale loosens the strap of tension across the shoulders. The body listens to the rhythm. The heart notices the steadier beat. David's rest feels simply. It is not a promise that everything will be fixed. It is a promise of safety. While life continues, there is a roof. There is a quiet corner. The lamp still throws a little light on the path. That is enough tonight. Safety can be something close. Not far. It settles near the collarbone and behind the sternum as a small, steady weight. It is not heavy. It simply presses with the assurance that someone watches. I let that image stay a moment. See a narrow bed near the window. A blanket folds back like an open hand. The pillow holds the shape of a tired cheek. Outside. The noise continues. Inside. The breath deepens. The contrast does not surprise. The shelter is not a place without sound. It is a place where sound does not unmoor the heart. Surrender is a quiet practice. It does not yell. It places one thing at a time on the table, and then breathes. If a knot of thought tightens, notice it. Give it a label. Let the name be small. Worry. Fatigue. Ache. A thought about tomorrow. Then put that label on the table too. The table can hold many small things. It does not collapse. I move then to another line that rests like a hand across the shoulders. It is an invitation from Jesus that leans toward anyone who is worn out. He opens space for the tired to come close. The words promise a kind of rest that sinks beyond muscles. It rests the soul. The invitation is gentle. It asks for coming, not for fixing. It asks for approach, not for performance. Think of a traveler who has carried too many packs. Each pack holds a responsibility, a fear, a memory. One by one, the traveler sets the packs down. The body straightens. The breath expands. The traveler loosens the straps and feels an ease that was not present while carrying. This is the kind of shedding the invitation imagines. It does not solve every puzzle. It lightens the load enough for steps to be taken with less strain. I speak these lines slowly. Each one drops like a pebble. The rhythm stays simple. Come. Bring what burdens you. Rest here, where the yoke is easy and the load is light. These phrases are not ancient demands. They are a bedside reaching. They feel near, and now. Place a hand on the sternum. Feel the rise and fall. Imagine the yoke, not as a heavy thing, but as a gently fitting pair of shoulders that meets yours. The yoke aligns with you. It moves with you. It shares the effort. In that sharing, work becomes less sharp. The strain that tightened the muscles loses some of its sting. I invite an image of a soft stool beside a creek. The stool can bear the weight of a tired body. The creek whispers. A breeze cools the neck. To sit there is enough. No remedy is demanded. The posture itself is healing. To accept the invitation is to allow the body to be cared for. Mercy rises quietly in these lines. It is not a reward earned. It is given. It arrives like evening. It is steady. It does not test for merit. It simply comes. Mercy warms the shoulders. It smooths the brow. It says that rest belongs to the worn as much as to the strong. I slow the reading further. I pause between images, so the ear can hold each one. When the voice rests, the heart can catch up. In the pause, breathe twice slowly. Let the mind lower its guard. Let the muscles in the throat relax. Small openings appear where sleep might move in. A simple action helps. Imagine placing the most insistent worry on the floor, near the foot of the bed. Picture it as a small pebble. You pick it up now and roll it gently into the palm. Then toss it into the shadows. It vanishes from immediate view. This is not denial. It is an act of choosing what to hold into the night. The invitation to come and rest is tender toward fatigue. It receives exhaustion like a guest, not like an intruder. The tone is welcoming. It does not shame tiredness. It recognizes weariness as proof of living and labor. The welcome does not rush. It attends. Allow the idea of an easy yoke to sit in the chest. The word easy does not mean painless. It suggests a different kind of labor. It is steady and rhythmic. It does not spike into panic. It carries in a pace that fits the breath. The shoulders can drop a little more at that thought. If attention wanders to tomorrow, notice the drift without scolding. Name tomorrow briefly and return to the present. The next step is enough. The night needs only what belongs to it. Let the mind fold plans for later and forgive itself for not solving everything now. I offer another small picture. Imagine hands washing gently at the sink. Water runs and clears the thin dust of the day. Each splash removes a bit of residue. The act is ordinary. It is meaning-filled in its simplicity. Washing the hands of relentless worry feels similar. The body relaxes as the hands come away dry and clean. Now rest becomes a practice of small returns. Return to the breath. Return to the lamp's circle. Return to the steady pulse at the throat. Each return is an acceptance of being held. It does not require an explanation. It simply acknowledges that here, in this small ring of light, safety is near. I pause and breathe with you again. Slow in for 4. Soft out for 5. Let the breath anchor each image that has been spoken. As each inhale arrives, picture a soft light moving down the spine. As each exhale happens, imagine that light settling like a blanket across the shoulders. Tonight's readings do not erase the nights that have been hard. They do not promise an instant end to worry. They provide a posture. They show where to place the feet in the dark and where to set the packs. They say that safety and rest are not distant. They are present now. Listen for the quiet hand that does not hurry. Feel the welcome that does not tally faults. Let the body accept what is given. Let the heart be eased inch by inch. If tears come, let them, they wash. If sleep arrives, yield to it. The words have done their work, whether memory keeps every line or only a single phrase. Before I close this part, take 3 slow breaths with me. In through the nose for 3. Hold briefly. Out for 4. With the last out-breath, imagine placing your forehead on the pillow in the shelter. The posture is restful. The mind may still hold a task or two. That is okay. Leave them resting on the table. They can wait. I end with a quiet promise. I will come back with another passage that leans into mercy and calm. The next reading will carry a similar hush. For now, let the lamp keep a small glow. Let the shelter remain firm. Let the invitation to rest be more than words. Let it shape the posture of the night. Close the eyes when ready. Allow the breath to find its own easy pace. I will meet you in the next part with the next slow line. Good night for now. The lamp is smaller now. The book lies open in my lap. My voice is slow and even. I speak as one who sits at the bedside. I read, and I watch the room, listen. There is an invitation in the pages I hold. It is not loud. It is an offer to anyone whose shoulders are tight and whose thoughts run ahead like restless birds. The invitation comes from the person who knows what heavy looks like. He asks the worn and the weighed to draw near. He makes room. He promises a kind of rest that reaches deeper than tired limbs. I do not repeat the exact words. I paraphrase, so the heart can breathe in the meaning. Come here. He seems to say, bring what pulls at you. Lay it down. Stay a while. The tone is tender. It does not shame the burden. It only meets it. That meeting changes the shape of the load. It does not cancel every problem. It shifts where you carry it. Burdens that once sat on the shoulders move toward a shared place. The body notices. To help this move, I invite a small practice. Rest your hand lightly on the chest. Feel the rise and fall there. Name one weight in a single word. Say it silently. Fatigue, worry, regret. Keep the words small. Then imagine offering that single word across the space between you and the shelter of hands that will not judge. You do not have to fix the worry. You only hand it over. The action itself releases tension in the neck. The breath lengthens. The letter to the Philippians speaks next. In the portion I read quietly for you, it leans toward peace. It counsels a simple exchange. Instead of turning thoughts over and over, one brings them into prayer. Instead of letting anxieties swell, one lays the concern down with words of honest asking. Alongside those requests, a grateful heart lists small gifts. The combination changes the soil of the mind. I say this gently. Bring the concern. Bring the question. Then add a short marker of thanks. One line of gratitude is enough to begin. Thank you for the breath I just took. Thank you for the lamp that keeps a soft glow. Thank you for the hand that holds the page. These tiny acknowledgements do something. They widen the view by a few degrees. What was a single black line of worry becomes a landscape with light. As I read and paraphrase, I suggest a rhythm. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold 1 count. Breathe out for 6. Do this twice. Let the exhale be longer. The nervous system listens to the outsized exhale. It tells muscles it is safe to let go. With the first full breath, gather the most insistent thought and imagine folding it small. With the exhale, picture placing that folded thought into a woven basket beside the door of the shelter. The basket holds it without judging. It keeps things near, not piled on your back. Now add a brief offering. Speak a short, honest sentence toward the shelter. Say the request in a single, clear line. Keep it lean. Then follow with a single line of thanks. This is not a ritual for measuring merit. It is a practical shift. The mind moves from looping toward naming and trusting. The heart relaxes a degree. Picture the peace that follows as a quiet sentry. It is not a tense guard. It is a steady presence that stands at the chest and the brow. It does not elbow out, feeling. It cushions it. It presses like a soft band around the torso. The band is not tight. It is protective and warm. Imagine it there now. Feel the collarbone rest into that band. The head tilts an angle and finds a place to settle. I read the paraphrase slowly. The sentence about peace that passes understanding takes on a new shape when spoken softly. That peace arrives like a slow tide. It does not flood recklessly. It comes in gentle, regular rolls that smooth the sand of thought. Each roll leaves the mind a little flatter and the heart a little firmer. The tide holds what you hand to it. It keeps things that might otherwise churn all night. If a particular worry hangs on, allow one more practical thing. Give it a small task. Make a list with one line, tomorrow's first small step. Write it down on a scrap of paper, if that helps. Or hold it once in the mind, and then let it go. The act of naming a next step calms the part of the mind that otherwise stays awake, rehearsing a problem. Keep the step modest. It can be as small as send one email or pack a bag. The rest of the weight need not be carried now. Gratitude follows. I ask you to notice 3 small things and thank for them silently. The warmth of a blanket, a steady light, a quiet room. Let each thank you land like a pebble in the lake. Feel the tiny ring widen. Gratitude does not erase the hard. It does change the view, like turning on a lamp in a corner of the room. Shadows take a different shape. I slow my pace even more. Short sentences, each one a small anchor. The voice becomes almost a breath itself. The reading is not an argument. It is a presence. I let the silence between lines stretch, so the ear can hold the images. Those pauses are part of the reading. They are where peace sinks in. Imagine a gentle yoke again. But now picture it as 2 hands resting across the shoulders rather than a device. The hands carry with you for a while. They do not force movement. They share the rhythm. When steps are required, the hands accompany. When sleep comes, the hands stay until the breath steadies and the muscles unbind. The image eases the idea of shared care. You are not isolated. Sometimes the mind wants proof. It asks for facts, solutions, timelines. Tonight that hunger can lie beside the bed. A small slate by the shelter holds questions to be addressed in the morning. Let it remain blank for now. The slate needs not be filled tonight. Its emptiness is not neglect. It is mercy. I offer a tactile image. Take a soft cloth and imagine wiping the face of the mind. Each slow stroke removes a thin film of tension. You do not scrub. You graze. The motion itself calms the shoulders. A soft face is easier to rest. This image is not magic. It is a way to use gentle movement to invite a gentler nervous system. The letter's promise is that peace guards the heart and mind. Guarding does not stamp out feeling. It keeps it from racing. Think of a sentinel who sits, not paces. The sentinel's gaze is steady. That steadiness becomes contagious. The heart slows to match the gaze. Picture that guard as a soft light at the center of the chest. It watches, it keeps, it does not accuse. If sleep is slow to come, use a short phrase as a marker. I bring this, I rest here. Say it slowly, in the mind, with each out-breath. The repetition is a soft metronome. It does the work of carrying the thought away from anxious loops. The phrase is gentle. It does not demand immediate sleep. It simply focuses the mind on handing over. I pause now and breathe with you. In through the nose for 4. Hold 1. Out for 7. Let the last exhale release the jaw. Let the shoulders ease by a finger's width. Notice the small difference. That small difference is enough. There is a tenderness in these lines that welcomes tears and yawns alike. Both are ways the body unloads. If the eyes water, let them. If sleep arrives, let it come. The reading will hold. The promises are not contingent on whether every word is heard. They work quietly under the skin. Before I close this part, I give a small invitation to keep something near the pillow. A scrap of paper with the short step written on it. A stone from a garden. A note of thanks. These small tokens anchor the work done tonight. They are physical reminders that your burden met a space and was attended. I fold the corner of the page with a careful finger. The book is not closed, yet the lamp keeps its circle. The shelter remains open. The invitation to come has been given. The practice of presenting, of thanking, and of receiving peace is repeated in gentle motion. Repeated when needed. Repeated tomorrow. Now breathe with me one last time for this section. Slow in for 4. Let the breath settle. Soft out for 8. Let the shoulders fall. With the final long exhale, imagine a soft cloak being drawn across the chest. It is warm. It is light. It is enough. I close the book softly and place a hand atop it for a brief moment. That touch is a small promise. I will read again. I will come back to this calm. For now, rest in the shelter you have let in. Allow the peace to guard the heart and mind through the night. Sleep, if it comes. Hold the warmth if it does not. Good night for now. The lamp throws a small circle of light. The rest of the room keeps its gentle dark. I fold the page and breathe with you. Tonight, I hold a promise that leans toward courage. It feels like a hand resting on a bent shoulder. It says you are not alone. I speak of a line that offers closeness. It tells me that presence will not abandon me. It names support that stays. I do not recite the original words. I paraphrase, so the meaning can sit quietly in the chest. The promise is simple. It says, come without fear. It offers strength for the next step. It promises help when the road narrows. It reminds that an upholding hand steadies the elbow when we stumble. Picture the hand now. It is not a force that pulls or pushes too hard. It slides beneath the forearm and holds. The hand is steady and warm. It supports, without taking away the ability to walk. The touch is reassuring. It says, I am here with you. Let the shoulders relax around that idea. Let the jaw unclench a small degree. The body answers kind things in small ways. Anxiety has a way of tightening the neck and shortening the breath. Prayer loosens that pattern. It is not a long speech. It is a small leaning. It is a single, honest sentence. Bring the worry to the light and place it gently on the table of the shelter. Name it briefly, then hand it over. That handing over is more of an action than a feeling. It moves tension from the muscles into the space between hands. The muscles sense permission. They soften. Breathe with me. In through the nose for 4. Hold for 1. Out through the mouth for 6. Let the out-breath be longer. As the air leaves, imagine the worry drifting like a thin cloud. It thins and moves away. The limbs relax a fraction more. The ribs widen a little. The head finds a softer angle. This promise about help feels like steady fingers beneath a plank when the board creaks. When the day presses with too many small demands, the fingers lift enough to prevent collapse. You may still carry things. They do not have to be balanced alone. The presence that offers help is not distant. It is near enough to place a palm on the back and say, walk a little slower. That close attention makes the path feel different. There is also a line about courage. It does not demand bravery as an act of will. It offers courage as a companion. Imagine a small light at your side. It does not blind. It shows the next stone. The light tells the heart you can take this one step. You do not need to solve the whole road in a single evening. Focus on the next breath. Focus on the next small movement of the feet. Courage grows in tiny increments. Now picture a quiet exchange. You lift one small worry and pass it across a table. The act of passing is itself prayer. No long arguments. No need to spend energy proving the case. The passing is simple. Here is what aches tonight. The shelter takes it. The shelter does not weigh you down for holding it. It keeps things near and tended. I often imagine a parent steadying a child beside a river. The child wants to test the current. The parent does not force the small hand, but keeps a strong hold when the child slips. The parent's fingers are there to steady. That image comforts me. It shows care without domination. It shows protection without removing autonomy. Rest comes in that balance. The heart breathes easier when helped, not coerced. Try a small practice with me. Place one hand over the heart. Feel the beat. Name aloud or quietly one small need. Keep the sentence short. Ask for help with that one thing. Add a single line of thanks right after. The thanks need not be grand. Thank you for breath. Thank you for this lamp. Thank you for the ability to rest here. Combined, the asking and the thanks shift the mind from looping to giving. The shift matters. It changes the chemistry of worry. If a memory returns that carries heaviness, imagine it set beside the path like a heavy bundle. It rests while you walk on. You are allowed to move down the road with that bundle nearby. The bundle is not ignored. It is attended when time and strength allow. For now, rest is more pressing. The bundle can wait a measure of daylight. Support is also like a brace under the knee. The knee can still bend. The brace prevents collapse. Think of support as permissive and holding. It keeps the parts that want to give way from failing. In that space, the body learns to trust small movements again. There is comfort in naming fear. 2. Fear often feels large when stated in a swirl of words. Make it small. Name it in one syllable. Fear. Then hand it over in a single breath. Let a second breath bring a soft image of being steady. Keep the breath slow and the face relaxed. The body responds to the posture of receiving. Calmness arrives like a gentle hug. It is not tight. It encircles the ribs and the shoulders with warmth. The hug does not erase thoughts. It simply gives room for them to quiet. Feel the hug now as a warm cloth across the chest. Each exhale presses the cloth closer. Each inhale fills a little more space with ease. Let that sensation stay for 3 slow breaths. If the mind wants proof, it may ask for outcomes. Tonight, the invitation is softer. It offers presence rather than outcomes. Presence is tangible. Presence changes the way steps feel. It is not the same as an immediate fix. It is the kind of help that steadies the walk until more can be done. That steadiness is enough for now. A small anchor helps when worry returns. Choose a word or short phrase. Keep it no more than 3 syllables. For me, it is "you are held." For you, it might be "rest." Here. Repeat it quietly, each out-breath. The repetition turns into a soft rhythm. It catches the attention of the nervous system and asks it to slow. The system often obeys simple, steady beats. I also invite a tiny practical task. If a particular anxiety nags about tomorrow, write down one small next move. Tape the paper near the pillow. The act of writing makes the plan finite. It moves the problem from the mind into the room. Once the paper sits by the lamp, the mind can let go more easily. The tasks that belong to morning belong to morning. Tonight is for unwinding. There is a tenderness that comes from imagining a support that holds up the tired parts. Picture a quiet beam under a sagging roof. The beam does not shout its presence. It simply braces. That image helps me rest because it shows stamina that is patient. The beam does not hurry. It persists. Mercy is woven through these promises. Mercy receives effort and lack of it alike. It does not measure the worth of tiredness. It treats exhaustion with gentleness. The heart relaxes when it senses acceptance. Let that acceptance touch the shoulders now. Slow words help. Short sentences help. The world has spoken long hours to the mind. Tonight, the phrases are small enough to be caught by the ear without labor. I keep my voice low. I keep the pace even. Allow these words to be a lamp for the next breath. Let them shape the posture of the night. If tears come, let them fall. They clean in their way. If sleep arrives, let it come without guilt. The promises work whether eyes remain open or not. They rest beneath the skin and steady the heart. I will say one more short practice. Place a soft token beside the pillow, a smooth stone, a scrap with a small step written on it. When worry returns, touch the token. The touch reminds you that an exchange already happened. It anchors the small work done tonight. Now breathe with me once more. In for 4, hold 1. Out for 8. Let the exhale be long enough to feel the shoulders fall. Feel the gentle hug at the chest. Sense the supporting hand beneath the arm. Let the courage that arrives as a companion step in. Let the shelter keep the bundle for a while. I close the page softly. The lamp remains. The shelter stays open. The promise of presence is near. Rest if you can. Sleep if it comes. Keep the small token close. I will return with another gentle reading. For now, Let the thought of being upheld be enough. Let peace guard the heart and mind through this evening. Good night, for now. I hold the page where the verse sits. I breathe in the hush of the room. The lamp keeps a small pool of light. My voice is quiet. This line gives a clear instruction. It asks that cares be handed over. It frames worry as something that can be moved. I speak in simple words. Bring the anxious thoughts. Give them away. Trust that someone else cares enough to hold them. The image is plain. It does not demand eloquence. It asks for a small, honest act. Think of a narrow footbridge over a slow river. The bridge is safe. It has low rails. Each step is still. Imagine walking to the center with a small bundle in your arms. The bundle is the worry that has been heavy tonight. Set it down on the plank. Turn slightly and hand it over into an open palm waiting on the other side. The palm takes the weight. The back does not carry that burden anymore. This handing over is not a sudden trick. It is a practiced motion. It can be small. It can be a single word offered into the quiet. It can be a name. It can be the shape of a breath that gathers a worry and then releases it. The important part is the direction. The worry moves out of the body and into another care. I do this often before sleep. I list one anxious knot in the mind. I name it once. Then I picture passing it to a pair of hands that wait without hurry. The hands are steady. They are warm. They do not pry. They only receive. The shoulders drop as the exchange completes. Try the practice with me now. Take one breath in. Let it settle into the belly. As you exhale, name one thing that presses tonight. Keep the naming small. A short sentence works best. Picture placing that thing on the bridge. Turn and imagine a gracious hand receiving it. Notice the change in the neck and the jaw. Tension moves a little. The body answers small mercy. The verse speaks of care. It is not an abstract care. It is the kind of care that notices the small and the specific. Imagine a gardener tending a tiny plant under the kind of lamp that makes the leaves turn toward warmth. The gardener does not ignore the broken stem. He cradles it and ties a soft thread to steady the growth. This sort of attention matters. It alters the path of growth by a small, steady touch. The worry handed over becomes tended. It is not thrown away. It is held with attention. There is also freedom in this handing. Freedom from the interior demand to fix everything before rest. The mind often insists on finishing tasks, plotting solutions, rehearsing worst-case lines. Tonight, let that insistence sit beside the pillow like an unfinished sketch. Tell it that tomorrow is its place. For now, the care will be carried by another. A helpful image is a small rowboat ready on the shore. You place the worry inside the boat. It is safe there. Someone rows the vessel gently toward a harbor of care. The boat does not disappear from sight instantly. It travels steadily and arrives where attention can tend it. This harbor is not far. It is close enough that you can trust the boat is well steered. If the mind presses for method, use a simple ritual. Fold a small square of paper. On it, write the single thing that sits heaviest, a name, an account owed, a fear about health. Fold it once. Fold it again. Leave it on the nightstand. Face down. The act of writing makes the concern particular. The fold makes it manageable. The placing sets a boundary this will be looked at in daylight. Tonight is for rest. A prayer accompanies the motion, but it need not be elaborate. A short sentence, spoken in the quiet, is enough. It can be a passing of responsibility in a voice that is low. The words do not need to be perfect. The heart does not require ornate phrasing. It requires honesty. Speak what is broken. Speak what is tired. Speak what is too heavy for tonight. Then breathe out slowly. Breathing helps the body accept the exchange. Long inhales fill a soft space. Long exhales empty it. Try a pattern that lengthens the out-breath. Count in for 4. Pause for 1. Count out for 6. As the air leaves, see the worry unfold from the chest like a thin scarf and drift outward. Feel the shoulders ease by a fraction. The head finds a gentler angle against the pillow. The promise attached to this practice is not that problems vanish instantly. It is not a guarantee that tomorrow will be free of need. The promise is that cares are known and carried. The language is an intimate assurance. Someone cares. That phrase settles differently than logic. It touches a place that counting and talking sometimes cannot reach. It is a simple warmth that presses beneath the ribs. Think of a steady light under which small things are kept neat. Imagine placing a pebble in a line. One pebble per worry. The line stretches across a shelf. Each pebble is attended. Nothing tumbles into chaos. The order itself soothes. The mind relaxes when small things have a place. Mercy attends in small acts. It does not lecture. It does not demand proof of worth. It reaches out, takes what is given, and holds. Mercy is like a blanket that covers where the cold bites, not a shovel that buries everything. It simply warms what is exposed. Tonight, if the chest feels tight, use a touch to remember the giving. Place one palm on the chest. Feel the slow beat there. With the next breath, imagine the beat passing the worry outward. Picture the heart as a small doorway. Things come in. Things come out again. The palm rests as proof that the heart is not alone with its burdens. If tears come, let them. They are a soft clearing. They make room. If sleep comes, accept it without apology. The practice does not require full awareness to work. It works under the skin in quiet ways, like soft rain that loosens the soil. The handing over loosens cords that bind the ribs. Sometimes worry circles back. That is normal. It may return in a new shape. Be gentle with the return. Name it again. Hand it over. The practice is about repeated motion. It is not a single leap into finality. Trust builds by repetition. The muscles learn the new motion. A small physical token can assist. Choose a smooth stone or a tiny fabric scrap. Place it on the bedside. When the mind begins to spin, touch the token. The touch reminds that an exchange was already made. It anchors the memory of the hand that received the burden. The token need not be meaningful in itself. its value is the cue it offers to the nervous system. Do not force gratitude, but a small note of thanks helps the posture of giving after the worry is handed. Take a breath and notice one small mercy of the day. It can be a warm cup, a kind word, or a moment of stillness. Naming it softly sets the exchange within an atmosphere of care. The thankful note is not a requirement. It is a companion to trust. The room is quiet. The night keeps its soft watch. This act of casting cares can be as small as lifting a finger. The movement goes from inward to outward. It shifts the weight. The body responds. Muscles enclenchent. Sleep finds a softer avenue. If a plan is needed for morning, keep it brief. One tiny step. Write it down in a few words. Tape the note where it will be seen in daylight. Then close the book of tasks for tonight. The mind is allowed to rest with the understanding that tomorrow has its place to be addressed. There is comfort in being cared for. The care does not erase feelings. It shares them. Imagine two people walking a narrow lane. One carries a heavy sack. The other walks beside and occasionally takes a handful. The burden does not vanish, but the pace changes. The walker breathes differently. That change is real. It is practical and tender. As the breath slows, notice the hush deepen. Let the body settle into the chair or the bed. Keep the lamp's glow small. Allow thoughts to move like clouds across a wide sky. They do not have to be seized. They can be observed and set down again. I will say one last short practice. To close this part, choose one worry. Name it quietly in a single phrase. Hold the phrase for an inhale. Release it on the exhale into the image of an open hand. After releasing, take one small note of thanks. Let the two motions be simple and clear. The exchange is repeated if needed. The work of handing over is slow and ordinary. It can become a nightly habit that changes how rest arrives. It teaches the muscles of trust. It reminds that care can be received. I fold the corner of the page between two fingers. The lamp breathes a little with the room. The shelter we share remains. I will come back to another line in a few moments. The next passage leans towards strength in quiet endurance. For now, rest with the small assurance that cares can be cast and that someone waits to hold them. Good night for now. The lamp rests in a small circle. The book lies open. My voice stays low and steady. Tonight, I bring a passage that feels like a room with many windows. Light comes in from different angles. The message steadies the chest. This line tells me something plain and wide. Love reaches farther than the mind often allows. It does not shrink back when storms come. It holds through weather and night. The idea is simple. Love is not fragile. It does not slip away because the days are hard. I picture a great ocean at dusk. The surface settles with a slow rhythm. Waves come and go with a patient pulse. Beneath the surface, the current runs steady. It does not tremble at every wind. Imagine lying in a small boat, skin warmed by the last light. The boat rocks, but it does not sink. That steadiness feels like the love being described. It is a wide, deep current that keeps the vessel safe. Another picture helps. Think of an ancient tree by the river. Roots run long and deep. Storms test the branches, and still the trunk stands. Birds roost within the shelter of leaves. The tree does not measure storms by their loudness. It rests in a foundation. It cannot see. At a glance, the heart can feel the same foundation. It lies below the busy thoughts and steady worries, holding quietly. I read this in the present tense because present tense makes things near. Saying what is now helps the body accept it now. The message is not a distant promise to be checked years from now. It is an assurance that lives with us this evening. Feel it like warmth across the shoulders. A practical image follows. Place one hand over the heart. Close the eyes gently if that feels safe. Breath in slowly. Notice the rise beneath the palm. Breath out and let the shoulder blades sink a fraction. Picture a wide, soft cloak draped across the back. The cloak is heavy in kindness, but light enough to breathe under. It rests there, whether the mind believes it or not. The body recognizes its weight and allows the jaw to soften. There is a comfort in naming edges. Sometimes anxiety imagines walls around love. It thinks only neat. Tidy things qualify for care. The passage pushes against that imagination. It suggests that love reaches past lists and scores, past faults and tallies, past the things we keep collated in small boxes. Love touches what we hide in the corners. It finds the thin places. I remember times when the world felt like a tight knot. The chest clenched. Counting steps seemed impossible. In those seasons, the idea that love is unshakable feels like a rope thrown across the chasm. Not a flimsy cord, but a braided line that will not fray. I place my fingers on that rope in the mind and feel the threads steady. The grip, the rope, is not a test. It is a means of crossing. Gentle breathing helps the body accept the thought. In for 4. Hold for 1. Out for 6. Let the exhale be the longer measure. With each long out-breath, imagine the rope drawing nearer. With each in-breath sense the warmth of being held. The rhythm is small and ordinary. It does the quiet work of retraining the muscles of alarm. The passage speaks of many things that could separate fear. Distance. Value. Night. Mentioning them in a list risks sounding like a catalogue of doom. My intent is kinder. I touch one image at a time. Consider distance. A letter mailed late can be read tomorrow. A phone call missed still finds voice later. Distance in relationships often tightens the chest. The love that is described moves across distances. It does not pause at miles. It blooms quietly in spaces between steps. That thought rearranges how late-night thinking feels. The loneliness can be met with a sense of near presence. Think also about failure. It sits heavy on the mind, like a wet cloth. The passage offers a different posture. Failure exists, but it does not move the ground beneath the heart. The ground is not earned by perfect deeds. The soil of love is broader. It receives the messy parts without tallying grades. That reception is mercy in practice. Mercy changes the tone from accusation to tending. The finality, some fear death itself, can loom like a closed door. The language here leans gently against that closing. If your thoughts go there, imagine a light that continues beyond the door's threshold. The light does not leave when the room ends. It keeps burning. This image is not meant to resolve everything. It is meant to steady the imagination enough for sleep, to arrive with fewer alarms. A small exercise helps when the mind loops. Choose a single image from tonight's reading. A rope, a cloak, a light. Hold it briefly. When worry returns, call the image back like a soft whistle. Do not argue with the thought. Do not push. Simply recall the picture and let it expand the chest slightly. Repeat the gentle breathing. The nervous system follows small rhythms better than long arguments. I keep the voice low because loudness frightens the quiet places. Softness invites. It allows memory and sensation to take a slower pace. The hearing ear receives the shape of the sentence more than the content sometimes. A gentle cadence soothes the muscles that keep watch at night. Again, a practical tactile thing. Choose a smooth stone or a small token. Hold it in the palm now if you have it. The weight of the stone becomes a reminder. It says the love you are hearing is not a mere idea. It is a reality you can touch through habit. When the night stirs, touch the stone. Let the fingers remember the rope, the cloak, the light. The token becomes a cue that begins to retrain the scattered mind. Mercy comes without question in this passage. It does not demand performance. It receives. That reception helps sleep move in because the body no longer needs to remain on guard. The muscles that brace for proof can relax. If tears come, allow them. Tears clear the way for something else to sit in the chest. The tone of the passage is not a hammer. It does not force bulldozed conclusions. It lines the heart with quiet pillars. Those pillars do not demand marching. They simply hold the roof. Rest can arrive under that roof. Nights are not required to be eloquent. They are allowed to be soft. If thoughts of guilt or shame return, do a small labeling exercise. Give the thought a single word and place it on the table in the shelter. Then picture the love from tonight as a lamp that warms the table. The lamp does not burn the paper. It simply warms it, making the edges less sharp. The practice is not a trick. It is a reorientation. It allows the mind the space to breathe. Sometimes the promise that nothing separates feels abstract. Bring it down to the ordinary. Think of a friend who stays on the phone a few minutes longer when the voice trembles. Think of someone bringing soup on a rainy afternoon. Think of a hand at the small of a back steadying the walk. Those small acts are likenesses of the larger assurance. They are the ways love is practiced in minutes. Let those memories settle like pebbles in the palm. I often read these lines slowly at the bedside. The voice takes a lullaby pace. Each phrase lands and is allowed to rest. The room takes the measure of the sound. The breath lengthens. The lamp circle becomes a small harbor. Keep the shoulders loose. Let the eyes soften at the edges. There is also an invitation to trust that the inner movement matters. Small acts of offering, laying a worry on the table, touching a token, naming a need, begin a new muscle memory. They are tiny, repeated motions. Over time, They change how the night looks. Trust builds like that. It is not a big leap. It is a sequence of small handings and small acceptances. If fear returns in a new form, treat it kindly. Name it. Offer it the image of the rope, and hand it the shelter again. The practice is repeated motion, not perfection. Return to the breathing. In for 4, out for 6. Let the out-breath do the work of small release. Before I close this part, take 3 slow breaths with me. Breathe in. Fill the rib cage. Hold a soft instant. Breathe out and let the shoulders fall by a finger's width. Repeat. On the last exhale, imagine the cloak settling across the shoulders like a warm blanket. Feel the weight of the blanket as comfort, not burden. I fold a corner of the page gently. The lamp keeps its glow. The shelter we have made in these words remains. The promise of unshakable love stays near. It is not a force that removes life's pains. It is a presence that walks with them. It is a rope, a tree, a light under the door. It steadies the heart enough for sleep to find its path. Place the token by the pillow if you have one. Let the images live in the chest as you close your eyes. If sleep comes, accept it without apology. If wakefulness remains, keep the pictures ready. Return to them softly. They are patient. I will come back with another passage in the next part. For now, rest under the small assurance that love holds. Let that holding be the last thing you touch tonight. Good night for now. I keep the lamp low and the page open. I set the book on my knee. I speak slowly. I speak as one who sits at the bedside with you. Tonight I turn to a short passage that many have taken to their beds. It is the image of a shepherd and a flock. It is close and simple. It reaches into the chest like warm water. I say the meaning in plain words. The shepherd walks ahead. The sheep follow. The shepherd sees the tired. The shepherd leads. I ask you to picture those slow steps now. Imagine a path cut through a meadow. The grass lays flat at the tread. Light rests on each blade like small coins. The air is cool near the ground. A soft exhale lifts the scent of earth. See a figure moving just ahead. There is no hurry in that step. It measures pace to breath. The hand on the staff guides, not drags. The staff taps the stones and reassures wandering feet. The sound is small. It is steady. Let that steady sound become a count for the breath. In, out, in, out. The rhythm settles the nerves. Imagine being led into a wide green place. The ground is soft. A blanket of clover cushions the body. You lie down here as the shepherd watches with kind eyes. The body answers the invitation before the mind forgives it. Muskel loosen. The jaw releases. The shoulders drop another fraction. This place is not distant. It is near enough to rest inside the chest. Next, picture a narrow stream. The water moves slowly. It mirrors the sky. The face above the water looks calm because the river does not hurry. Think of the water as the breath you keep now. Each slow inhale is like a ripple widening. Each long exhale smooths the surface. The stream cools hot thought. It quiets the rush in the limbs. The line about the shepherd restoring the soul needs a quiet image. I picture a slow hand at a weary shoulder. The touch is careful. It presses for a moment and then lets go. It is like a small repair. Broken things are tended, not judged. A wound is cleaned. A cloth is laid. A balm is smoothed on. The voice that cares mends what frets at night. That mending does not rush. It moves with patient rhythm. Think of the shepherd turning your face toward better ground. The path ahead is not a sudden climb. It is a small, level step placed for safe feet. Guidance is not a judgment. It is a direction. The steps are chosen so tired legs can follow. You do not have to choose every road tonight. The nearest right step is enough. There is mention of a valley that once felt like the end of the road. That valley still existed for many of us. It carries shadows. Shadows can stretch long in the mind. This passage names the valley and then gives an image for moving through it. The shepherd walks into the dark place, not around it. A hand touches the shoulder in the dark. The staff taps to find the way. The rod may ward off immediate danger. The presence is a steady company that does not leave when the light thins. When fear arises, imagine the shepherd leaning close. The breath of that companion warms the neck. The sound of boots on the path assures. Fear in the chest is not announced, and then abandoned. It is met and carried a little while. The body recognizes the presence and responds. The spine straightens enough for a steady inhale. The throat quiets. The mind can lower its guard. I invite a small practice now. Place one hand lightly on the sternum. Feel the steady beat beneath the palm. Think of that beat as a drum matching the shepherd's pace. Breathe in for 4 counts. Pause 1. Breathe out for 6. With each long out-breath picture the staff tapping the ground beside you. Each tap is a small anchor. The body relaxes into the support of that rhythm. The shepherd's care is attentive to ordinary needs. Food appears at the right time. Water is found. Rest is arranged. This kind of care knows the small details. It notices the single foot that limps and sets a stone for it. It sees the furrow in a brow and cups a palm beneath. The large scenes are not ignored. The small scenes are given weight. Let your mind rest in that thought. Small attentions matter at night. If a memory of failure comes close, let the shepherd look at it with you. Imagine laying the memory on the path. The shepherd does not rebuke the placing. The memory is taken up and held, not crushed. It is turned toward the light. That turning changes what the memory asks of the heart. It softens the edges. It allows the chest to open a little wider. There is a tenderness to the image of being made to lie down. It is not an order, but an allowance. The body that refuses rest is invited to be still. Lying down in the meadow is a body-level permission. The mind can argue, and the body can still accept. Let the hands relax. Let the brows smooth. Let the breath find its natural curve. When worry returns, use a short phrase and an image. With each exhale, say quietly, I am led. In the quiet of the room, imagine a hand slipping into yours. The shape of the hand is not prescriptive. It simply holds. The hold is not tight. It is present. The fingers do not pry into the corners of the mind. They only keep a steady touch. The steady touch changes the nervous system by degrees. The shepherd's rod and staff are not only instruments of guidance, they are symbols of protection. The rod stands for an attention that will ward off immediate threats. The staff helps steady uncertain steps. Picture a plank across a shallow stream. The staff rests across the waist as a counterpoint. Each small balance helps the feet stay sure. That small balance is enough to ease the knee and the jaw. There is healing in the imagery of oil and a full cup. In the quiet reading, these images feel like simple, caring acts. Imagine the head anointed with warm oil at dusk. The warmth seeps down. It relaxes the temple muscles. The cup is filled. You drink without hurry. The water or tea that warms the belly is enough to steady the night. These small comforts are real aids to sleep. If the mind holds a person's face who needs help, bring that name into the shelter. Picture the shepherd walking with them too. The load you carry for them is met by a shared care. Passing a prayer or a quiet thought across the meadow is not the same as solving everything. It is an offered companionship for the worry. That companionship widens the chest. Now try a brief mental scene. Imagine following the shepherd along a narrow path between trees. Light falls in patches. The shepherd steps where the ground is firm. Watch your feet. Find those spots. No need to rush. Your job is to follow, not to carry the map. Allow your shoulders to drop. Feel the breath around the ribs. Let a soft smile arrive at the corners of the mouth. Sometimes the body remembers rest before the mind does. When dread edges in, notice one small detail in the room. A lamp, the texture of a blanket, a small picture. Hold that detail gently and place it next to the image of the shepherd. The two together make a small compound of safety. The room and the passage combine to steady the night. The heart can rest with both images present. There is also a practical thing to do with hands. Fold a small scrap and write one thing you will leave in the shelter. Keep it brief. Put the scrap on the nightstand. The act moves a pressing task from the mind to the room. It grants the mind permission to sleep. The shelter holds that scrap. The shepherd watches it there. Mercy walks through this passage as quietly as the rest. It is not loud. It appears in small acts. A hand smoothed down a blanket. A cup refilled. A warm glance held for a moment longer. Accept the mercy as if it were a soft scarf placed over the shoulders. It warms without binding. If tears come, let them fall. Tears are part of the breathing out. They empty the little reservoirs of ache. They are not a failure. They are a change in the body's chemistry that makes room for softness. If sleep comes, yield without apology. The shepherd's voice works whether the ear is fully alert or just half awake. I read these lines slowly, as a steady pace. Each phrase stops long enough for the image to rest. The silence between phrases is not empty. It is the space where the body can receive the care. Use the pauses to breathe twice. Let the shoulders unclench. Let the jaw soften. Before I close this passage, take 3 deliberate breaths with me. In for 4. Pause 1. Out for 6. With the last long exhale, Imagine laying the heaviest thought you carry on the path beside you. Imagine the shepherd picking it up. Notice the slight ease in the neck. Let the hands fall to the sides. Stay with the quiet for a moment. I keep the lamp small. The book remains open. This psalm stays near like a simple lamp at the bedside. It does not promise a sudden answer to all worries. It promises company and guidance and small acts of tending. That is enough for the night. Place a soft token near the pillow, if it helps a smooth stone. A scrap of cloth. When the night stirs, touch the token and recall the shepherd's staff. The slow water. The green place. Let that touch steady the breath. Let the image be the last thing you hold as sleep arrives. I will come back in the next part with another gentle passage. For now, rest under the shepherd's care. Let the slow steps lead you into the dark without fear. Let the presence at your side be the rhythm you follow. Sleep when it comes. Dream if it comes. Wake when you wake. The shepherd walks with you through it all. Good night for now. The lamp stays low. The book rests in my lap. I breathe with you and begin. Tonight the page leans toward kindness and release. The line I hold urges a heart to be tender and ready to forgive. It points to a mercy already given that we can imitate. Forgiveness is not a single act. It is a small practice. It is a way of clearing space inside the chest. Imagine a worn room with many small boxes. Some boxes contain careful things. Others contain old hurts. Forgiveness is opening one box and letting the air move through. It is not throwing the things away. It is making room. I speak the idea plainly. Let go of what keeps you heavy. Offer kindness where bitterness lives. Let tenderness be the first response. These words are not commandments that bruise. They are an invitation to lighter steps. They do not demand forgetting. They ask for a slow unclenching. Think of a knotted rope. Each knot is a memory that pulls tight. It tightens the shoulders and shortens the breath. Forgiveness begins with a hand that eases one knot at a time. The hand does not rush. It loosens gently. It does not deny the knot existed. It simply makes space for the rope to lie smoother. I offer a simple practice to try tonight. Find a scrap of paper. Write one name or one short phrase. Keep it to a few words. It might be a person who hurt you. It might be a part of yourself you have not forgiven. Fold the paper twice. Hold it in one palm. Take 3 slow breaths. On the last exhale, imagine placing the paper into an open hand that waits just outside the room. The image is small and safe. The open hand does not blame. It only receives. When the paper rests there, feel the shoulders drop a fraction. Notice the jaw soften. The act is not a dramatic erasure. It is a shift in who holds the weight tonight. Forgiveness toward others often feels risky. It can look like accepting the wrong. That is not what I mean. Forgiveness is a way to stop letting the wrong pull the body into constant alarm. It frees the chest. It frees the night. Let the mind hold that distinction calmly. Release and exonerate are different things. You can forgive and still set healthy boundaries. Self-forgiveness is quieter, but no less necessary. Many carry a ledger of small failures. The ledger sits like a stone at the center of sleep. To forgive oneself is to bring that stone into daylight and say its name. It is to let a kind hand smooth the edges. This practice is not a fast fix. It is repeated gentleness. Try this next motion. Place one hand over the sternum. Breathe slowly. Feel the heartbeat beneath the palm. Tell yourself, simply and softly, that you are allowed to rest. Say the line once in the mind, then breathe out and let the breath carry the thought into a picture of light, descending like a small blanket over the shoulders. The body often believes what the palm feels before the mind agrees. Sometimes forgiveness needs a physical boundary. A conversation may not be safe. A reunion may not be wise. A letter need not be sent. Forgiveness can happen in silence. It can happen as an interior offering. The person who harmed you does not have to receive the act for it to change. The one forgiving. The change begins in the chest. I will describe a careful image. Picture a gentle river that moves beneath a small wooden bridge. You stand on the bridge with a pebble in your hand. The pebble is the hurt. You do not throw it with force. You place it in the water and watch the current take it just out of sight. The pebble does not vanish from history. It moves into motion. The motion itself matters. Mercy often looks like practical tenderness. It hands a cup of water. It writes a small note. It closes a wound with steady attention. When forgiving, look for small acts that are possible. They soften the edges. They do not require theatrical gestures. Quiet acts heal quietly. If anger feels alive and resists the idea of forgiveness, sit with that anger for a moment. Do not be ashamed of it. Name it in a single word. Anger, hurt, betrayal. Then let the anger be present in the room without deciding everything else. Place it beside the table in the shelter. It can stay there while the rest of the chest learns to breathe. There is a practice of release that helps when resentment loops. Use a short phrase repeated on the exhale. Something like, I release this. Say it slowly in the mind with each out-breath. Keep breaths long enough for the body to register the pattern. The repetition does the work of redirecting the nervous system. It does not force a grand feeling. It simply changes the muscle memory of reaction. Forgiveness also involves saying sorry when that is needed. If regret lives inside, a small, honest sentence can be offered. It need not be performed for an audience. It can be whispered toward the quiet. Confession is a way the heart aligns itself with mercy. The act releases the tension of secrecy and allows mercy to touch the place that feels raw. I will guide a short breathing pattern now to accompany a single act of forgiving. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 1. Breathe out for 7. On the out-breath, imagine the name written on the paper moving into the waiting hand. Repeat this 3 times. Each cycle loosens a small bit of the muscle that clings to old grudges. An image I return to is that of gathering all the small tasks of justice and leaving them in the care of a trustworthy table. The table is not a place of neglect. It is a place where things are held and tended by a steady presence. When sleep is near, some tasks can remain on the table without demanding the hands that need rest. Sometimes forgiveness is not a single handing, but a rhythm. It becomes a habit of bringing small irritations to the shelter and letting the shelter hold them. This repetition retrains the inner reflex to guard The chest learns to open more quickly. The shoulders rest sooner. There is also a tender practice for forgiving oneself. Write a short note of compassion to the self. Keep it no more than 3 lines. Fold it and place it near the pillow. When awakening with the old self-criticism, touch the note. The touch reminds the body of the earlier exchange. Over time, the touch can quiet the internal prosecutor. Forgiveness often changes relationships slowly. It may open a door. It may leave the door closed while a chair is set nearby. The chair is for patience. It is for steady presence. Do not require immediate restoration. Allow time to be part of healing. The presence that forgives often waits with a soft patience, rather than demanding speed. If fear of being hurt again prevents forgiving, imagine placing a gentle fence between trust and reckless openness. The fence keeps watch without hardening the heart. It allows future steps to be taken with care. Forgiveness that mends is not naivety. It is wise gentleness. A tactile token can help. Choose a small, smooth stone. Hold it now. Imagine it as the thing you will place on the bedside table when a hurt is offered into the shelter tonight. The touch of the stone becomes a cue. When the mind returns to the old grievance, touch the stone and remember that the weight has already been set in motion toward release. Remember also the mercy given to us. The passage I hold points to grace already extended. That grace is not a theory. It is an invitation to mirror kindness in small things. Think of the evenings that have felt like second chances. Let those memories steady the heart. They are proof that care can arrive even after mistakes. If regret arises for a past harsh word, imagine a soft balm applied slowly. The balm is not a quick wiping away of consequences. It soothes the place where the words landed. Resting near the balm is a posture of repentance and learning. The mind that grows gentle learns different speech over time. Forgiveness also frees space for gratitude. They can sit together on the same shelf. A small thanks for the breath, for the lamp's glow, for one kind face, will not erase the hurt. It will, however, remind the heart that many small mercies continue to come. Let that thought be a quiet companion as the night deepens. If you hold a name of someone you need to forgive, but are not ready to let go, keep the name folded and place it on the nightstand. Do not judge the readiness. Time can be part of the healing. The act of placing the name in a designated place is itself progress. I speak slower now. Short sentences. Gentle cadence. Let each phrase land like a small soft stone. The room listens. The breathing settles. Forgiveness works like slow water on stone. It does not force an overnight change. It shapes endurance and gives the hands new ease. If tears come, let them fall. They are part of the release. If sleep arrives, accept it without guilt. The practice of forgiveness moves in quiet ways, whether the eyes remain open or closed. Trust the action. Trust the small hand that receives the folded paper. Before I close this part, take 3 slow breaths with me. Breathe in for 4. Hold for a moment. Breathe out for 8. With the last exhale, imagine laying one heavy name into the waiting hand. Feel the shoulders drop a little. Notice the jaw soften by the width of a finger. Place the folded scrap beside the pillow. Keep the small stone near it if you chose one. These are simple anchors. They remind the body of the motion practiced tonight. They are not proof that everything is fixed. They are reminders that mercy was offered, and a choice to begin again was made. I fold the page gently and place a finger at the corner. The lamp keeps a small glow. The shelter we built with these words remains. Forgiveness is a path walked step by step. It is a nightly practice, as much as a single act. Rest now, under the quiet work done. Let tenderness shape the next breath. I will come back in the next part with another passage. For now, rest in the gentle knowing that mercy can be received and returned. Good night for now. Assures me of hope each morning. The thought settles like light through a thin curtain. I hold that line now. I read it slowly and let the sound sit in the room. Lamentations speaks of mercy that begins again at dawn. It does not arrive once and then depart. It returns. Every morning brings a small replenishing. The phrase rings like a simple bell. It asks nothing dramatic. It asks only for attention. I picture a narrow windowsill at first light. Dew sits on the glass. The dew is ordinary. It gleams. Each drop is new. The scene is quiet. The small brightness at the edge of the pane feels like mercy arriving for the day. Notice that image now. Let it be a way to meet the morning before it rushes in. Mercy in this passage is steady. It is not a sudden flare. It is like a slow flame rekindled at dawn. The promise rests on faithfulness. That faithfulness holds across nights that felt too long. It is not a quick fix for every trouble. It is a daily starting point. It gives room to begin again. I do not offer a lecture. I offer a bedside rhythm. Tonight, consider a gentle practice. Before sleep, name one small mercy from the day. Keep it simple. A cup of warm tea, a safe arrival, a laugh shared. Speak it softly inside. Keep the sentence short. The mind prefers brief things at this hour. Let the mercy land and stay. Make a small list if that helps. 3 items is enough. 3 mercies, then a small breath between each. The act of noticing is like folding a small cloth. It makes neat the scattered parts of the day. Place the list where the morning light will find it. It becomes a map back to the promise that the mercies renew. The passage also gives a companion word, hope. Mercy and hope walk together. Hope in the text is not a loud decree. It feels like a seed beneath the soil. I imagine that seed tonight. It sits small and patient. Rain and sunlight do their slow work. Renewal is not always dramatic. It can be a quiet unfolding. I read the idea in present tense because present tense brings it close. Mercy renews now. But says no. The mental posture shifts slightly when promises live in the immediate. The chest eases. The breath lengthens. Small changes matter at night. If despair sits heavy, picture it as a room with closed shutters. The shutters are not broken. They simply have been shut too long. Morning comes and opens the slats. Light moves across the floor. The light is not a scolding glare. It warms the air. The room breathes. Think of that movement tonight. Allow a slat to lift by a thumb's width. Let a small beam of light find the cheek. A useful habit is a single breath with an image. Breathe in and picture a small glint on the windowsill. Hold that glint for just a beat. Breathe out and imagine it spreading like quiet warmth beneath the skin. Repeat twice. Keep the sentences in the mind short as you do it. The nervous system listens to small patterns. Mercy's recurrence is practical and ordinary. It arrives like the kettle's first steam in the morning, like the first slice of toast at the table. The images do not need to be grand, to be true. They only need to be tangible. Think of some ordinary morning thing that matters. Use it as an anchor. Use it to tether hope when the day is heavy. There is a tenderness in the word faithfulness. It suggests someone keeps watch in small ways. Someone returns to the bedside. Imagine that presence as a hand that smooths the blanket. The hand does not erase trouble. It steadies. It makes the body willing to rest. Let that image rest on the shoulders now. I speak also of routine as a kind of mercy. A routine that is gentle helps the body believe morning's renewal is real. Keep a small ritual by the bed. A glass of water. A folded note of thanks. A stone that fits the palm. Small repeated gestures remind the mind that mercy is not a one-time event. It is a daily repetition that trains the heart to expect tenderness. Tonight, try this. Choose one small token to sit on the nightstand. It can be a smooth pebble, a small scrap of fabric, a pressed leaf. When the morning light touches the token, let it be a signal. The signal says mercy is here again. When darkness feels long, touch the token and remember that renewal is habitual. The touch is simple. It changes the body's readiness to accept hope. Mercy also meets failure. The night often becomes a place where mistakes feel magnified. The passage does not pretend mistakes vanish at dawn. It says mercy returns anyway. Picture a gardener who tends a patch with burned leaves. The gardener does not pretend the scorch never happened. The gardener waters, prunes, and waits for the new shoots. That patient tending is the kind of mercy I speak of now. I keep the lines short because the ear cares more than the eye at this hour. Short sentences are a soft hand. They make room for rest. Long sentences can stir the mind to chase ideas. Keep things simple. One mercy, one breath, one token. Repeat tomorrow. If guilt surfaces, let it be placed on a small shelf in your mind and noticed without judgment. Name it in a single word. Shame, error, regret. Then imagine the shelf under a gentle light. The light warms but does not blind. Mercy rests on that shelf with the name beside it. The light does not excuse every action. It does not erase consequences. It brings warmth to a place that felt cold. One quiet practice. Write down a small mercy before sleep. Keep a pencil by the bed. As the eyes begin to close, write one line. Keep it to the size of a coin. Put the slip under the token on the nightstand. The slip waits. In the morning, when light enters, read it. Let the day begin with that gentle reminder that mercy returns. The passage also shows a companion posture waiting with patience. If sleep delays, sit with the waiting in a different way. Instead of fighting the late hours, notice them. Observe a slow rhythm of breath. Consider the renewal promised at dawn, not as pressure, but as company that will come. Let the waiting be held quietly. Mercy renews even when the night feels unrelenting. Sometimes the dawn within arrives slowly. That is permitted. Some mornings begin as a soft grey before the sun fully appears. The grey is mercy too. It is a gentleness that does not demand immediate brightness. Accept the gradation. Let the hope be slow and patient. I like to imagine mercies arrayed like small cups on a shelf. Each cup holds a portion of care. Some cups hold easy things, a friend's text, a confortable chair. Other cups hold heavier relief, a reconciliation, a healed ache. Each morning a cup is refilled. The eye can choose one cup to reach for. The choice is enough for the day to begin. Keep the voice inside, low, when you use these images. Repeat one short phrase as a slow metronome. A phrase such as mercies are new. Say it quietly on the exhale. The repetition is not a chant. It is a soft rhythm that calms the nervous system. Use it until the breath finds a longer shape. I avoid heavy language because the night does not need weight. Mercy's renewal is a tender fact, not a theoretical point. It steadies the hands. It loosens the jaw. The promise is practical. It changes posture. If a specific fear seems to persist, try dividing attention. Notice the fear as a small item. Then name two mercies that also exist. Keep the mercies concrete. A warm drink, a sound outside the window. The act of pairing the fear with mercy does not dismiss the fear. It gives the mind a different proportion. Proportion matters at night. There is a quiet courage in returning to mercy each morning. It is not a heroic leap. It is a daily recommitment. Think of it as a path with many small stones laid out. Each morning a new stone is set. Over time the stones make a walkable way. The work of walking becomes more natural. The heart learns a new gait. As I close this part, breathe with me once. Slow in for 4. Pause 1. Soft out for 7. Let each out-breath release one small thought into the shelter of the night. If sleep comes, welcome it. If wakefulness remains, let the mercies lie on the nightstand like small lamps. Return to them when the mind stirs. I fold the page with a careful thumb. The lamp keeps a small circle of light. The promise of renewed mercies remains as a quiet promise at the edge of the night. Keep the token close if you chose one. Let morning find it and whisper mercy again. I will read another passage in a little while. For now, rest under the simple assurance that mercy renews. Let the thought of a new morning be the small hand that steadies the chest. Good night for now. I sit with the book open and the lamp low. I read a line that has kept me steady at night. It says his peace is not like the peace the world offers. It sounds small when spoken softly. It lands differently in the body. I speak it in my own words. Christ gives a calm that stays. The calm does not depend on tidy schedules. It does not rise and fall with the hour. It aims at the inner place that holds steady when noise presses. Notice the difference. Worldly peace often feels like a pause between storms. It is the quiet when everything goes right. It can vanish if a door slams. A different peace is gentle and deep. It roots below the surface of events. It steadies the pulse even when the wind picks up. I imagine an anchor now. The anchor does not stop the sea from moving. It holds the small boat in place. Waves still lap at the sides. The sky still changes. The anchor simply keeps the boat from drifting away. Put that image in the chest. Let the image press lightly near the sternum. Feel the slight ease there. Breathe with the image. In for 4. Hold 1 soft beat. Out for 6. The out-breath is long and easy. With each out-breath, picture the anchor sinking a little deeper into calm water. The shoulders loosen. The neck grows less tight. The mind learns a new tempo. This peace comes as a gift, not a task. It does not demand proof. It does not ask to be earned by frantic striving. It arrives when the hands that hold the day relax. It arrives when one admits tiredness and sets the long list down for the night. If worry creeps in, do a small exercise. Place a palm on the chest. Name the worry in 1 short phrase. Keep it simple. A name, not a sermon. Hold the phrase just once. Picture the phrase as a small ribbon in the hand. Fold the ribbon and lay it beside the anchor, imagined at the heart. The act of folding is small, but real. The body recognizes that a shift occurred. I also like a quiet listening practice. Set attention on the breath for a minute. Notice its weight and length without changing it. Then listen to the smallest sounds in the room. A clock's soft tick, the hum of a distant appliance, the breathing of the person beside you. If one sleeps near, these small sounds become a kind of music. They remind the ear that steady rhythms exist beyond the mind's looping. Peace from Christ feels like that music. It is not the loud instrument that demands notice. It is the low bass line that keeps the melody from rushing. It moves beneath larger things and makes them bearable. Let that bass line become familiar tonight. There is a practical thing to do with hands. Choose a small object to sit by the pillow. Azmuth pebul. A button. A small coin. Hold it now, if it is within reach. Feel its weight. When the night stirs, touch it. The touch acts like a gentle cue. It recalls the anchor image. It says, grounding is possible. The token is not magic. It is a habit maker. Habits reshape the nervous system slowly. I read a short line that says, do not let your heart be troubled. It offers a command and a promise at once. Commands at night can sound harsh. This one comes as a comfort. It invites the heart into a different posture. It asks the chest to widen just enough to receive a soft thing. Try a small posture change. Sit or lie so the back feels supported. Roll a towel or place a small pillow under the knees if lying down. Small supports help the body believe the words it hears. The skin remembers physical steadiness before the mind does. When support is present, breath grows fuller. Peace also teaches us a rhythm of attention, where the world chases outcomes. This peace returns the gaze inward without panic. It says, steady the next step. Do not solve the whole path in a single night. Focus on what is near one breath, one small motion, one restful minute. The skill is to practice small returns. I give a short pattern to follow. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 1. Breathe out for 8. Make the out-breath longer than the in-breath. This pattern soothes the body. It tells the nervous system that danger is not imminent. Repeat it 3 times. After the 3rd cycle, rest the hands on the thighs or over the belly. Let the weight be tangible. Mercy moves quietly in these words. The peace offered is tender, with failures and fears. It does not dismiss mistakes. It simply makes space for them to exist without ruling the night. If shame presses close, picture it as a thin fog on a path. The peace is a slow beam of light. It does not burn the fog away in a gust. It warms the ground enough so the fog thins and lifts on its own schedule. If a face keeps returning to thought, a friend, a family member, someone who needs help, offer them a silent blessing. It need not be ornate. A simple intent is enough. Ask for steadiness for their steps. Trust that the same peace that steadies you touches them in ways unseen. Let the caring be small and consistent. There is a practice for those who carry decisions. If tomorrow asks for an answer, write one tiny step to be taken in the morning. Fold the paper and leave it where a light will find it. The act of setting the next step down frees the mind from rehearsing it. The brain is practical. It releases tasks once they have a small place. I sometimes use sound as a gentle anchor. A single low note on a tuned instrument, or the hum of a distant bell steadies the ears. If music helps, choose one quiet, slow piece. Let it play at a whisper. Keep the volume low enough that it becomes part of the room's texture. Music can teach a different heartbeat. Keep language short tonight. Say to yourself, peace is here. Say it slowly on the out-breath. Repeat 3 times. The words are simple and soft. They do not argue with the mind. They give the body an instruction it can follow. If sleep does not come, do not judge the wakefulness. Watch it with kind attention. Notice the quality of the thought. Is it planning? Is it fearing? Name it once. Then return to the anchor image. Let the anchor steady the small boat. Let the hands unclench. Sometimes relief comes through ritual. Make a small motion that signals bedtime. Fold a blanket. Place the chosen token beside the lamp. Turn the page closed in the book you hold. The repeated motion tells the body that night is here. Repetition trains the system to fold into rest. If tears arise, let them. Tears are part of the body's moving toward ease. They are not failure. They are a shift in the chemistry. Let them wet the pillow if needed. Let them be a small clearing. After the tears, breathe more slowly. Let the anchor feel firmer. If prayer feels helpful, keep it brief. Speak a short sentence into the room. Name one need. Ask for a soft presence. Give thanks for one small thing. The combination of asking and thanking creates a different balance in the chest. It is not a litany of demands. It is a gentle exchange. I remind myself of one steady fact. Peace given is not dependent on everything falling into place. The gift arrives amid complexity. The promise is not a quick fix for every chaos. It is a companion that walks with the hands full. That reality changes how the night feels. It gives the heart a steadier platform. Imagine a lamp on a table in the mind. The lamp throws a circle of light. Within that circle, the immediate things are visible and manageable. Outside the circle, shadows remain. Yet the lamp is enough. It shows the next step. Let that circle be the boundary of tonight's work. Do not try to illuminate tomorrow's distant rooms. Keep the light small and kind. I notice the body again. Let the jaw unclench. Let the shoulders lower. Let the eyes soften. Tend to the feet. A small stretch for the calves is sometimes enough to settle the legs. Small physical comforts help the mind rest. If the heart resists peace because of anger or grief, do not force it. Offer the pain a name and a place to sit. Say, this is grief. This is anger. Then imagine placing each beside the anchor. The anchor does not erase them. It keeps them from tipping the boat. Keep one tiny token by the pillow as a reminder. When the night stirs, touch it and breathe. Let the anchor image return. Let the breath slow. Let the small words soften. I close this part with a short invitation. Breathe with me once more. In for 4. Hold 1. Out for 10. Let the out-breath be long enough to feel the shoulders fall. With the last full exhale, imagine the anchor settling and the boat finding still water. I will read again soon. The next passage asks more of mercy and hope. For now, rest with the calm that does not fade with passing hours. Let the gift of peace be enough tonight. Good night for now. Sha'ah. Proverbs 13 Ayura, sweet sleep promised. The lamp is smaller now. The book rests gently in my hands. I turn the page and let the verse sit for a moment. It says that when one lies down there is no fear, and that sleep will be sweet. I say the idea in plain words. Lie down without dread. Sleep that tastes calm arrives. Picture a low bed by a quiet window. A soft pillow holds the head. The pillow gives just enough. The cloth is warm from the day. The breath that meets the cheek is slow. This is the image I use tonight. It is small and near. Fear has a way of pacing the mind. It rehearses what might come. The verse offers a different motion. It asks the body to stop the pacing. It asks the eyelids to close gently. It asks the chest to find a steady step. Try a short practice with me. Sit or lie so the spine feels supported. Ease one hand onto the belly. Feel the belly rise with each in-breath. Let the hand ride the movement like a small boat. In for 4 counts. Hold 1. Out for 6. Repeat twice. The longer out-breath speaks to the body. It tells muscles that the moment is safe enough to yield. As you breathe, imagine sleep as a soft tide. The tide comes in slowly. It does not knock at the door. It slides up to the sand and pools. It gathers around the ankles first. Then it moves higher. The tide does not erase the shore. It simply makes the shore ready for rest. Allow that image to ease the shoulders. The promise speaks into nights that feel noisy. Outside the window, the wind may argue with the trees. Inside the chest, the worry may shout names. Both are present. The line invites a different witness. Beneath the bustle of thought, there is a quieter presence that watches. That presence does not fix everything in a single moment. It steadies what is immediate. I suggest a small bedside ritual. Fold a corner of paper. Write one short line, a single worry or a single hope. Keep it no larger than the palm. Fold the paper twice. Place it under the pillow or on the nightstand. The simple act of making a small record moves concern from an endless loop into a container. The mind accepts a boundary. The body relaxes a fraction. Sleep that the verse promises is not a promise of perfect forgetting. Night may still bring questions. Dreams may visit. The calm offered is different. It is a steadiness under the surface, like a deep well that holds water even when the surface ripples. This sleep holds me through the night. Think of a warm shawl draped across the shoulders. The shawl is not stiff or heavy. It lies loose and warm. It catches the draft. It does not smother. It simply softens the edges. Let that shawl be the symbol for what comes tonight. Picture it pulled gently up to the chin. Feel the small pressure. Notice how the jaw lets go by a fraction. If fear presses near, name it once. Say the word quietly in the mind. Keep it short. Fear. Worry. What if? Don't argue. Don't explain. Name it and then imagine placing it on a soft cushion beside the bed. The cushion holds it. There is no need to carry it into sleep. Another gentle tool is sound. A low note, or whisper a soft syllable on the out-breath. The sound is not a song to be performed. It is a slow metronome. Choose a single syllable here. Him, or a soft sh. Breathe in and let the syllable shape the exhale. The repetition calms the nervous system. The muscles that keep watch begin to ease. Imagine now a quiet harbor, the small boat you are in rocks within the buoyed space. The storm can rage beyond the harbor, but the boat is tethered. The tether does not stop the sea from lifting. It keeps the craft from drifting into the rough. Let this harbor be the space where sleep anchors you. Picture the lines slacken as the boat finds rest. If the night carries grief, do not force cheer. Grief is a shape to be tended. Place one palm over it and breathe toward that place. Say one honest line to it, this hurts. I see it. Then let the breath carry the line into a roomy silence. Mercy moves with the same soft hands that named the hurt. A simple image for stubborn wakefulness. Imagine a small bell in the room. It rings once and then settles. Each time the mind spins. Picture the bell ringing and then quieting. The mind learns the cue. Over time, the pattern trains the inner ear to lower its volume. Physical comfort helps. Adjust a pillow. Unfura blanket. Wiggle the toes. A small tensing and letting go in the feet drains restless energy. Stretch the arms once and then relax them. Tiny. Kind movements tell the body that tonight's work is to soften. Remember the verse's word about fear. Lying down without fear is not a demand. It is an invitation. The invitation can be accepted in small degrees. Begin with one breath. Follow with another. Let the lids feel heavier. Let the mind shorten its lists to a single step. Rest. If you are responsible for another tonight, imagine a warm light on their face. Send a gentle thought of peace toward them. This is not an obligation. It is a small offering. The mind receives the comfort of giving care without needing to fix outcomes. Sleep can come in waves. It does not need to be continuous to be real. Do not guilt the body for waking. If awakening occurs, breathe and return to the images. Re-anchor with the bell. Redrape the shawl. The practice is patient and repeats its small motions. As I close this part, place a hand over the heart. Feel the lift and fall beneath the palm. Let the thought settle. I lie down without fear. I let sleep come. Repeat the sentence once in the mind on a slow exhale. Then, if it feels right, close the eyes. Shazam. Closing reflection. The room grows quiet. The lamp keeps its small circle of light. I fold the page with care and lay a finger at the corner. Tonight, we have moved through promises that steady the chest, shelter in pictures, hands that steady, mercy that returns, sleep that is sweet. These words are not instructions to make everything perfect. They are small gestures to teach the body new habits. Name one worry. Place it on the table in the mind. Breathe. Choose one tiny step for morning. Fold it into a scrap and set it by the lamp. Pick a token if you like. Keep something small within reach that says this was offered and tended. Practice is gentle. Repeat a simple breath pattern. In for 4. Pause. Out for 6. Use a soft sound on the out breath. Admit fatigue. Ask for help. Give thanks for one ordinary thing. The small list is enough. The rhythm teaches the muscles to unbrace. Mercy and hope are not slogans. They are daily motions. They come in simple things. A warm cup. An extra minute of listening. A hand that steadies on the back. Let those small acts be the evidence you keep near the pillow. They are not grand, but they are real. If sleep arrives, take it as a gift. If wakefulness remains, meet it without harshness. The night is a teacher of patience. Use it to practice small returns to calm. The heart learns the lesson in repeated, quiet motions. I will come back with more readings. I will keep the pace slow. I will keep the voice low. These nights are a series of small meetings. Each meeting teaches the body to accept the kindness that exists beneath the noise. Before we part, take 3 breaths with me. Slow in for 4. Hold a breath. Let the exhale be long and soft. With the last out breath, imagine a gentle curtain drawn across the day. The curtain does not erase what happened. It marks the time for rest. Rest is not earned. It is offered. Receive it like a small, warm cloth placed on the shoulders. Let the warmth sink downward. Let the mind narrow to a single sure thing you are cared for. I close the book now and keep my hand on it for a moment. That touch is a small promise. I will read again. The lamp will be the same small friend. The pages will turn slowly. For tonight, allow the room to breathe with you. Good night. May your sleep be gentle and your waking filled with renewed mercy. I will meet you again when the hour calls. Good night for now. I rest in the knowledge that God watches over me. His promises like a warm blanket of grace and peace. As I prepare to drift off, I let go of today's stress, embracing the rejuvenation awaiting me in his presence. I speak slowly. The room keeps a small hush. The lamp throws a kind circle. The book lies open in my lap. My voice moves like a soft tide. Each sentence lands and then waits. Feel the blanket I describe. It folds across the shoulders. It is not heavy. It holds warmth close to the skin. Imagine its weave as threads of mercy and care. Each thread is a promise. Each promise is near. Place a hand where it feels natural. Rest it on the chest or the belly. Notice the rise beneath the palm. Breathe with that rise. In for 4, hold 1. Out for 6. Let the out-breath be long enough to smooth a tension in the neck. Repeat this pattern twice more. The breath is a gentle tool. It returns the attention to the body. I paraphrase a verse that has guided me at night. It says, "Do not fear the dark. Keep watch with calm." I do not read the words as a test. I offer them like a lamp. Hold that lamp in the imagination. Let its circle find the collarbone and the sternum. Think of a small harbor at dusk. Boats glide close to shore. The water keeps their motion mild. The sky softens. The harbor does not demand a long voyage tonight. It invites mooring. Let your spirit be the boat. Let the harbor be the shelter of promises. Tonight I fold worries into a small bundle in the mind. I name one worry in a single syllable. Say it once in thought. Then picture placing the bundle on a table by the harbor. Someone waits at the table with steady hands. They do not judge the bundle. They only hold it. The action of placing lets muscles relax. If a strange restlessness rises, imagine it as a thin thread pulled by the fingers. Gently let go of the thread. The thread slips from the hand and drifts away like a small ribbon on the water. It does not vanish from the world. It simply moves out of the grip of the chest for a while. I read a line about watching through the night. The watcher is neither distant nor distracted. The watcher keeps a steady eye and a calm hand. Picture that presence as a lighthouse on a small shore. Its light does not blind. It shows the safe curve of the rocks. Walk toward that light at a slow pace. Each step matches the breath. Let the mind rest on small images. A warm mug at dawn. A friend's steady voice. A single line of scripture that felt like balm earlier today. Keep the images near the pillow like small pebbles. They anchor the mind when it begins to wander. I invite a brief practice now. Close the eyes lightly. If that feels safe, breathe in and imagine a soft gold light at the center of the chest. Let the light expand with each in-breath. With each out-breath picture, the light settling across the shoulders as a gentle cloak. Repeat 3 times. The cloak is not a shield that shuts the world away. It is a comfort that allows the muscles to loosen. Sometimes thoughts return like restless birds. Greet them without scolding. Name the thought in 1 word, then imagine giving it a seat at the edge of the room. It can sit there while the rest of the house rests. You do not have to chase or fix it now. If tiredness arrives, accept it as an honest guest. Let the limbs fold. Let the jaw soften. Let the lids weigh a little more. The body has been doing its work all day. Tonight, it needs nothing heroic. A quiet yielding is enough. I picture a quilt sewn from small acts of kindness. Each square is a memory of a good thing. Some squares are bright with laughter. Some are subdued with quiet care. Lay the quilt over your knees. Feel the seams hold. The seams show where mercy stitches across the rough parts. Offer one small thing into prayer tonight. Keep it brief. A single sentence to say aloud or silently is enough. Ask for a gentle tending for that one need. Follow the asking with a short note of thanks. The two motions, asking and thanking, balance the chest. When grief visits, welcome it with a soft hand. Grief does not always leave quickly. It needs room and time. Give it a small corner on the bench. Sit beside it for a moment. Breathe. Tell it you see it. Then set a small intention to return in the morning if needed. This gentle boundary is not refusal. It is care. If the mind pulls toward regrets, use a tiny ritual. Imagine folding each regret into a thin paper boat. Set the boats on the stream by the harbor. Watch them float a short distance, and then settle near the reeds. The boats remain visible if you need them later. For now they hold the regrets in motion rather than gripping the heart. I keep the voice low because the ear is tender now. Softness invites the nervous system to slow. It creates a space where hope can breathe. Hope is not a rush. It arrives as a measured step. It returns again the next morning, like a reliable tide. Think of mercy as a lamp at the bedside of a weary child. The lamp shows a safe shape of the room. The lamp's glow does not judge the child's sleep. It only keeps watch. Let the lamp be the presence you lean into. The glow warms the throat and the shoulders. I remember a short image from my own nights. A hand laid on a brow, a soft word that does not demand a solution. That small kindness changes posture. It allows the eyelids to lower. It allows the heart to accept rest. Consider offering that small kindness to yourself now. If worry returns about someone you love, bring their name into the shelter softly. Lay that name beside the other small stones on the table. Pray or think a brief phrase of care for them. The act of bringing their name into the gentle circle moves anxiety from clenched worry into tended concern. As the minutes pass, let the body's edges blur. Feel the collarbones widen an inch. Let the throat relax a fraction. Each small release matters. The night works in tiny measures. Allow them to add up. I will read a short blessing now in plain language. May a quiet hand rest on your brow. May warmth travel down your arms and settle around the ribs. May a steady kindness keep watch while you sleep. Receive the blessing as a small, sure thing. If the mind resists, sleep because of tasks undone. Write one small line before the eyes close. A single step for the morning is enough. Fold the note and place it where the morning light will find it. The act of naming frees the mind to accept the dark. Use a small token if it helps. A smooth pebble, a pressed leaf, a scrap of fabric. Touch it when the night stirs. Let the touch recall all the small handings you made tonight. The token is a cue. It reminds the nervous system that an exchange happened. Habits form by these tiny cues. When tears come, allow them. They have a clearing work. The words do not. Let them fall, and then breathe. Do not judge the wetness. Let it be a tide that moves through and leaves room. If sleep comes in waves, accept the waves. Sleep need not be steady to be healing. The night can do its slow repair, even through fragments. Each fragment rests some part of the system. Trust the slow economy of rest. I will close the book in a moment. Before I do, hold this thought. The promises that watch over you do not sleep. They are not brief comforts. They are present through the hours. Tell yourself the phrase, once quietly, I am watched. Let the words settle like a warm cloth. Place one more soft practice into the pocket of the night. Breathe in and count to 4. Hold 1. Breathe out and count to 10. Make the out-breath long enough that the shoulders drop a fraction more than before. Repeat twice. Let the last exhale be a slow curtain closing on the day. I lay my hand on the page and feel its small texture. The touch is a promise to return. The voice is steady and will come back when needed. For now, the room keeps its hush. The lamp keeps its circle. Sleep if it comes. If wakefulness remains, keep the pictures here beside the pillow. Return to them without pressure. The night becomes practice. Practice becomes habit. Habit becomes a new way to meet the dark. I end with a short benediction spoken simply. Rest under a watchful kindness. Receive a sheltering peace. Let morning come with mercies renewed. May the heart find ease and the mind find space. Let sleep be sweet and waking gentle. I close the book now and place a finger at the corner. The lamp lowers its glow, just a touch. The blanket I mentioned stays ready. The token, if there is one, lies near the hand. The small harbor waits. Good night. Receive this hour. Let the promises wrap around you like a gentle quilt. I will meet you again when the light calls us back. Sleep well for now.